Hello, I'm Naethaniel Lile, reading Brianne Burgess' Portland Homeless Crisis Opinion Piece. Permanent solutions are possible for Portland's increasing homeless crisis. Prior to the pandemic, the Homeless and Urban Camping Impact Reduction Program, also known as HUCIRP, reported between 40 to 60 campsite removals per week. After the introduction to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, these sweeps performed by HUCIRP have been much less frequent, at a number closer to 3 times a week. Halting these sweeps has highlighted Portland's homeless crisis. The increase in visibility of the unsheltered community in Portland has become immensely apparent, and the garbage surrounding these areas is overwhelming. The American Civil Liberties of Oregon reported that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, annual survey concluded 1 out of every 10,000 people are a military veteran. 1 in 7 has been identified by the HUD as having a serious mental illness. A fifth of unhoused Oregonians reported being a victim of domestic violence, and nearly a third are families. Homelessness is a complex issue with varied responses on how to incorporate long-term solutions into the current infrastructures. Shelters and transitional interim housing can lack stability. Enforce strict codes of conduct and force separations with the communities. These can be reasons why a person chooses the streets over shelter. Some feel safer with their community on the streets. Some are unable to stop drug use. Some are experiencing low income and high rent. A lack of mental health resources, credit issues or past debt issues, and criminal history, all of which make finding permanent housing, in a traditional sense, a big challenge. A program called Housing First by Join PDX, a nonprofit organization, prioritizes permanent housing to those experiencing homelessness. In their mission statement, they suggest housing as a foundation for life improvement. Data has shown that those who receive permanent housing have a decrease in substance use, fewer instances of domestic abuse, and are more likely to continue living in a stable housing. Housing First provides support services to the tenants they house. In addition to being a solution for the rehomed individuals, permanent housing is known to cut costs on taxpayer services such as jails, hospitals, and emergency shelters. The findings from a similar nonprofit providing permanent housing to those seeking refuge documented an overall reduction in emergency services, costs totaling of savings of over $31,000 per housed person. Providing permanent housing can be the compassionate and affordable solution to what resolves our growing homelessness issue in Portland and across the U.S. The city seems to be finger-pointing at whose responsibility is whose in terms of the trash accumulating around Portland. If you're looking to become active in a change, volunteer-based organizations are planning mass cleanups. Solve Oregon organizes volunteers to help clean up the city while being mindful of what is personal belongings and what isn't when delittering. While the issues of Portland's homelessness and trash problems are tangled in public opinion and approval of state officials, various forms of mutual aid will continue to benefit our varying communities. I'm Naethaniel Lile with The Advocate, and this has been a paper by Brianne Burgess on Portland's homeless crisis, an opinion piece for the students by the students.